Yes, what is going on, people? Croaky throat. What is going on, people? Welcome to the live reaction Erik Ten Hag press conference. Well, it's already been live, so it can't be a live reaction. I didn't even realise the thing was on. So we're going to react to the quotes now. I'm going to read a couple out and make sure you get your comments in and let me know your thoughts. We've had some breaking news about Marcus Rashford. I'm going to touch on that in a second, but we've literally got the press conference quote for quote. So we'll dive through it together. As always, make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe to the... So let's pull a couple of these quotes up. On team news today, Erik Ten Hag said, so a positive. Varane definitely available. Scott joined in training. And when we find training, he'll go well. When we find training, will go well. He will be in. Rashi trained the whole week, but today he's reported ill. We have to see how he recovers during the day and see tomorrow. So apparently he's got a bit of a bug, bit of a tummy bug, a bit of a cold, bit of what I've got probably, to be fair. I'm proper nasally. You can probably tell by my voice. So there is a little bit of a bug going around at the minute. Maybe Marcus Rashford has picked up that and he might not be available for the trip to the Butlins Stadium tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see how that develops. Hopefully he is. Sip time. Hopefully he is, because we discussed this on so many accounts. Remember in the last press conference reaction, and it was like, oh, Marcus Rashford has got a leg injury. Oh, it might have been the one before the Wolves game, actually. Was he available for Wolves? He wasn't, was he? Am I right in saying that? Yeah, I don't think he was available for Wolves. My memory's so bad. But I remember saying at the time, I was like, he scored like 40% of our goals. So if he's out, someone needs to step up and someone needs to take the burden. And obviously Garnacho did that, didn't he? End up getting a goal towards the end. And we won the game. So hopefully Garnacho could, or maybe he might get a start, because he started Sancho last week, didn't he? So yeah, he also got asked, can Manchester United get to Manchester City's level? This is something we discussed with Jay Motti on the show today. So if any of you guys missed that, we had Jay Motti on from Stretford Paddock. Really good show. Spoken about the treble, spoken about the ownership, did a little Q&A. That it was really, really fun. So make sure you check that out. And judging from the feedback, a lot of people liked the show. So I would recommend you go and give that a watch and let us know what you think. But can United get to City's level? Erik Ten Hag said, when I see this project, first of all, it's important to get in the Champions League. I don't think today at that standard. I look to the next game, Bournemouth. We have to win that game to get in the Champions League. Focus on the game. The game's coming up. The first game is the most important. And that's, you always get that kind of political answer, don't you, from Erik Ten Hag on them kind of situations. The next game's most important. And it is. He's absolutely right. But you can't tell me he's not thinking about the future and what's going on and if he'll be able to compete. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't tell me that. So, yeah. United Daily's in the chat saying Rashford is ill, and I know he's got a bit of a bug or something. I don't know what's going on. You've got Experience saying hi. Hello to Experience, but you're new around these thingies. But yeah, people in the YouTube, let me know, man. A bit quiet over there. Seems like some bits is out the door with Ten Hag's comments. Oh, interesting. Let's have a look at that. He's got asked if he's talking to Murtaugh and Arnold. He said we're talking every day. The dialogue. I'll tell you what the dialogue is with Murtaugh and bloody Arnold talk. We don't know what's going on, mate. We're waiting for him to hear about the ownership. We can't release funds, or either that, or it'd be business as usual, Erik. And then that's kind of it. Ten Hag on Bournemouth says, I think as far as I can see, I think it's really brilliant as a club as Bournemouth. He's lying. He's lying. It's the Butlins Stadium, and they've got about 10k capacity. He's not a great club. Sorry, Bournemouth. He says they are in the Premier League and 3 games before the end of the season. They're definitely in the league next season as well. It's massive. You can see clear patterns. So well done. And then he's spoken about the GOAT. The GOAT. I'm not talking about Lionel Messi. I'm not talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. I am, of course, talking about Phil Jones. And we're going to touch on Phil Jones in a second. Lewis is saying predictions for Bournemouth versus Manchester United tomorrow. I mean, I think I did a short on this on the YouTube. What did I predict now? A draw. I think I said 1-1. Because we're just shit away from home. We're really, really bad away from home. So, yeah, I think it'd be a draw. Especially with Rashford out as well. But, yeah, Ten Hag on Phil Jones says, yes, I saw him in training for 20 minutes. First training of the year. He has a great career. What he's achieved, winning the FA Cup, winning the Europa League, being present at 2 World Cups, massive career at Manchester United. All credit for his career and some great memes. He didn't say that, but I said that. Yeah, Phil Jones released a statement today. I've not had a chance to read it. It got sent into the chat. But it was apparently a very well not a health fart. That sounds like a weird kind of pump that you do. No, a heartfelt. It was a heartfelt message from Phil Jones. So it was. Andy Pundit's in the chat. Big up to Andy Pundit. Yeah, I usually do these live, so I think a lot of people might have been confused. So apologies for that. But yeah, he's speaking about Phil Jones. Apparently, he's been speaking about Sabitzer as well. On signing Sabitzer, he said, "We will see, but it's not our main focus. The main focus is Bournemouth." Was there any more kind of developments on that quote? Because that seems like a very short snippet. And then it says, that's a wrap for today's press conference. So Marcus Rashford is a doubt for United's final away game at season due to illness. Rashford missed last week's win over Wolves as well with a leg injury, but he trained all week. He has trained, but he's pulled up with a bit of an illness today. However, Scott McTominay resumed training in midweek after a 5-week absence and could be recalled to the squad, while Rafael Varane has not suffered any setbacks after his first appearance in 4 weeks against Wolves. So every press conference we're doing, it seems to have a bit of a yin and a bit of a yang, like a bit of a negative and a positive, or it's a strange one. He said he's not ruled out a permanent move for the Bayern Munich midfielder Marcel Sabitzer. Sabitzer joined on the loan for the remainder of the season on transfer deadline day in January, but he will miss their remaining 4 games with a meniscus injury. The 29-year-old played 18 times for United and scored 3 goals, but he's under contract at Bayern until 2025, essentially. So there's all your updates that you need, basically. Let's get into a few comments. Rashford back. He's ill. He's back, but he's ill. So it's like, you don't really know. I saw an article that Sheikh Jassim on Football 365 that was in the lead, then it just vanished. I mean, maybe they published the wrong thing. Yeah, so Marcus Rashford is ill, which isn't great news, is it? To be completely honest, but yeah. Play Garnacho over Sancho. Yeah, I would tend to do that. However, sometimes starting Garnacho isn't as good as bringing him off the bench. I have no idea why, but he just seems to be more of an impact player. When you got a bit of tired legs, Garnacho's pace is frightening. I'm not saying he can't start a game, but he seems to do well off the bench, to be fair. Dan Horton saying, reckon to the FA Cup final. Again, we discussed this with Jade last night, and really, really good show last night. Honestly, if you did miss it, please do check it out. But yeah, we discussed it with Jay last night, and I think personally, I think it's going to be a struggle. You watch what they did against Real Madrid in the Champions League. You know, are we any better than Real Madrid? Are we at that level? Because look at the players that they've got. Like, I know it's a Manchester derby, it's a one-off final, but I see City winning it personally. But I think Jay said something outrageous, like Wout Weghorst will score the winner in the 95th minute. Obviously, slightly tongue-in-cheek, but you never know. You never know. But then there's an article in the Mirror stating that this week there will be no preferred bidder. From everything I've heard, this month, I think it's not even going to be announced this month. That's what the Telegraph, James Ducker from the Telegraph is reporting, saying it might not even be announced this month. So maybe the start of June. Maybe I think someone in the chat remind me. I'm sure they received the Glazers received £90 million on the 25th of May for some kind of, I don't know what it is from the club or something like that. So maybe they're waiting for that, and maybe they're waiting to see if we get Champions League football or not. Because if we do get Champions League football, I've always questioned this. I've always put this out there and said, well, I know the people who are buying the club have said, oh, they're not really bothered whether we've got Champions League football or not. But surely the Glazers who are selling the club are like, well, it's going to be worth a little bit more if we get Champions League football. No? Just me who thinks that? Like, I'm not sure. Sabitzer needs to just stay at Bayern or move somewhere else. We tried it, but I don't think it worked. Nor the 8. We need to facilitate Casemiro. Neither is Eriksen, really, but we need more like that. You know what? I'd probably agree with that, Dave. Sabitzer have been a bit like, you know, he had his performance against, who was it? Against Everton. I think it was Everton where he played really well. He had that game against Sevilla in the first half where he scored 2. And at that point, I was like, all right, yeah, he could do a good job. He could fit in. You know, you're only going to spend 20, 30 million. But he also he's been here for, you know, since the end of January, and he's already had 3 injuries. And I'm not sure. I don't know if Ten Hag fancies him or not. I know Sabitzer really wants to stay, but I don't know if Ten Hag fancies him. That's the issue. And I don't know if the fan base does either. They're very split on that. But I'll throw that question to you lot. Would you keep Marcel Sabitzer at the club? Yes or no? Let me know. And then answer the poll that we've currently got up as well. Is Phil Jones the GOAT? Yes or yes? Oh, my throat is killing. I think because of the Champions League reward, we can stop City. Hope we can. Yeah, I'd keep him, says Josh. Flip Flop says no. Lammy King says yes. Let me know that YouTube. Get involved. Obviously, it makes a good sub. I'm on the fence about it, man. I'm a little bit 50-50 with Sabitzer. I think we're going to buy an 8 regardless. Anyway, I think you saw that report come out saying whether Sabitzer was to stay or not, Ten Hag still wants an 8 and still wants like a world-class 8 as well. You probably want a striker and then you want a centre-back or a right-back, whichever kind of path you choose to go down. But I don't know. I don't know. Again, it all comes down to the ownership, doesn't it? And maybe if you've got them a little bit of extra funds, then yeah, but we don't know, do we? Not a starting player, but he fits in. Qatar in, says Ashkar Amar. Sam saying, I missed that, sorry. I would think he's quality as a squad player and we bring in an 8, I'll be okay with it. And Sam McTominay and Fred, keep Mainu or Zidane. Yeah, maybe we ask that question. If we sell McTominay, would you keep Sabitzer? There's another kind of twist in the tale. Shah Sam's in the chat. Big up to Shah Sam every day of the week. I'd say no. He seems to have underlying injury issues. Yeah. And who was it? Was it Adam? Someone off the channel mentioned this where we signed him. He was like, he said, lads, have any of you checked out his injury issues? He's had quite a few, you know, when he was at Leipzig. He's had quite a few at Bayern. And it was like, something to keep an eye on, maybe. Something to keep an eye on. And it seems like it's coming to fruition, doesn't it? Had 3 already. I know 2 of them have been kind of minor knocks or whatever. He's been out for a couple of games, but this meniscus one as well. And it stinks of Bayern Munich. You know when we bought Sebastian Schweinsteiger from Bayern Munich? And he was like, oh, what a fucking talented player. Why are Bayern Munich letting such a good player go? We found out the hard way, didn't we? Knees absolutely gone. Completely gone. Maybe it's a similar thing with Sabitzer. Maybe they're like, yeah, we'll let him go. Because the price tag was always a little bit suspicious. 20 million. You're like, I'm going to say, we might get 30 to 40 million for McTominay here and buying and let him go for 20 million. What's all that about? So, I don't know about Sabitzer. I don't know. If you was to put a gun together right now and ask me, I would probably say no. I wouldn't keep him on. I think we've got a lot of priorities heading into the summer. We talk about the striker position. We talk about the 8. We talk about the right back. I don't think it's a priority position. The Athletic reported that it's a priority position. I don't think it is. I really don't. I'd happily go another season with Wan-Bissaka and Diego Dalot at right back competing than having De Gea in net for another season. I would. Genuinely. And I know we can't get a fee for De Gea because his contract will go. But we will get his wages off the bill, which is 375 grand a week, by the way, which is basically 1.6 million a month. And you're saving yourself, quick math, nearly 20 million a year just on De Gea's wages. So that's a transfer in itself, especially when you take into account all the FFP regulations and how you can kind of stretch it and you can pay things over time. Which we did in the summer. We didn't buy everyone for 200 million just like that. We spread the cost out. A bit like Klarna, basically. We Klarna'd our transfer, is essentially what we've done. So, Ash is in the chat saying we ain't got no peas. Bowen's on fire and he's snagging Danny Dyer. Nah. Okay, fair enough. How come Manx don't move their top lip when they speak, bro? I don't know. Do we not? I've never even noticed that, to be honest. Good rest or proper treatment like ice or deep heat can help for a hamstring injury. Who's got a hamstring injury? Is that for Sabitzer? For Sabitzer's meniscus in it. Is that right? I don't know. Make sure you smash the like on the video, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Smash the like on the TikTok, smash the like on the video, and subscribe to Real Red Talk as well. I've mentioned it before. I want to keep plugging it because I can. We did a show with Jay Motti off Stretford Paddock last night. Loads of people tuned in for that. So make sure if you did miss that, you go check it out. Really, really good show. We discussed the City potentially winning the treble, how we can stop it, the ownership situation, and we did a Q&A towards the end as well. So, just going to wipe my nose. I've seen news coming in that United apparently made an offer for Rabiot as well. There's another one. Like, do you think he's seen some bits of thought? No, not the kind of profile I wanted. Hasn't settled in the way I thought he would. Let him go back to Bayern, and we'll sign Rabiot on a free to free up a bit more funds because we've been linked with Rabiot for a while. As much as people might not like it, and they might not think he'd be a good player. We've been linked with him since last summer. Ten Hag clearly wants him. He clearly sees something in him. I've heard he's got bad attitude problems. His mum controls his contracts and was demanding loads of money. So if he goes on a free, how much wages is he going to be on? Because I'm pretty sure he's on about 200k a week at Juventus today. So how much is he going to want to demand from United? I just don't know. I know Rabiot doesn't sit nice for me, but I remember watching him in the World Cup and I was like, good player. Seems decent. And I think the issue is, my personal opinion, a lot of people who watch the United stand, whenever the name Rabiot is mentioned, and obviously United stand have a huge influence on the United community. Whenever there's people Rabiot, like Goldberg's like, oh, Rabiot, who the fuck is that? Blah, blah, blah. But if you actually watch him play football, he's a decent footballer. Rabiot is a good footballer. But like Shaquille says there, Rabiot is good, but his attitude is an issue. It is. But so was Garnacho's at the start of the season. I'm looking at him now, you know. So the attitude of some of these players before Ten Hag came in was stinking. So maybe Ten Hag could kind of change that. You know what I mean? You don't know. It's that type of manager. He installs discipline in players. You've seen players who struggle in other leagues under other managers completely change. So I don't know, man. True, but we could pay him 350k a week. We can't pay him. Yeah, that I agree with. I remember 6 months ago, we had some news come out. I think that this was the Athletic again, and they were saying that we want to kind of reduce our wage bill and cap it at like 200k or 250k, whatever. Obviously, if you look at our wage bill at the minute, we've got David De Gea 375, Sancho 350, Varane's 350, I think, Casemiro's 300, Martial 250, Maguire 200. So if you want to do that, you have to De Gea go, Maguire go, Martial go probably, and you save yourself there straight away like nearly $1 million a week in wages. How mad is that? Nearly £1 million a week. And the others that I kind of let, maybe even Sancho let go as well. I don't know. But the others that I kind of left, you look at Casemiro's wage, you're like, he's earned that. This is a 5-time Champions League winner. He's won league titles, you know, Copa del Rey's. The list is endless. He's earned that. Rafael Varane, likewise, same boat as Casemiro. Rashford, you would probably say he's earned that as well. And he'll probably get a new contract that's bumped up. But the other ones, you have to kind of remove off the wage bill because if you have the likes of someone like Rabiot coming in, they're going to look at the wage structure and say, well, he's on 300, he's on 350. Your keeper's earning 375k. And you're telling me I can't have 300 or 250. And it just, but like the whole wage structure gets fucked up then. So they say Rabiot on a free, yes, please. Also, Ten Hag knows far better than any of us about Rabiot's reported attitude issues. This is what I mean. Like, some players can just go from a club and it can be completely different. Everyone just saying bad attitude. Don't think his mum does this. Which I was at the time. In fairness, when Mercer flew out to Turin and he was trying to get the Rabiot deal over the line, and his mum was just demanding like outrageous wages. That I don't want. If you could sort the wages out and you can bring him in for, I don't know, let's just say a standard wage, 150 is maybe 200 a week. I'd lean more towards the 150s, but I'd be all right with that. I don't mind because you're gonna have to do. I've said this from the start. There's going to be some form of neglection in some positions in the summer. Even if Qatar come in. If Qatar come in, you know, we'll probably have an extra 40, 50 million to play about with, right? And if we sell well, it'll be okay. But once you get your striker, 80 to 100 million pounds, right? Once you get your midfielder, if you want a proper top-class midfielder, you know, you see some of the figures that are going about. It depends what level you want to go to, doesn't it? That's the thing. If you want to go get a De Jong, maybe 70, 80 million, right? So there's 150 million straight away. Then you want to get a right back on top of that. Then we're talking to Kim Min Jae. That's your budget stretched already, like really, really stretched. But if you can sell Maguire, get his wages off the bill as well. If you can sell McTominay, you know, maybe a few others, They might be light at the end of the tunnel. Who knows? But in regards to the press conference today, Sabitz is obviously, we know he's out for the rest of the season. Not sure if he's going to stay or not. You've also got Marcus Rashford, who's out with illness. He's recovered from his injury. He's been training all week, but he is out with his illness. So whatever that is, might be the same thing that I've got. I'm not well at all. So sorry, Marcus, if you've bumped into me in the traffic centre or something. But yeah, I have not got it either. So Erik Ten Hag, Chris Johnson, big up to Chris. I've recognised that name. Erik Ten Hag will deal with Rabiot's attitude. It's worth a gamble for a free transfer. I would love Rice. Yeah, I agree. Declan Rice, yeah, I'm not sure the price is. I'd rather have the Young than Declan Rice personally, but I get why people want him. He's a very good player, leader, could play in Casemiro's position, could play next to Casemiro, could do a lot. He is a very talented player, but I think he'll stay in London, and I think he'll go to an Arsenal or in Chelsea. So got DJ from Jolly, yeah, I thought I did. I thought I recognised it. Yeah, big up to Chris. But let us know, people. Make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe to Real Reds Talk. If anyone on TikTok right now, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do check it out. We did a live show with Jay Motti from Stretford Paddock last night, and it was fantastic. Great show. Can't recommend it enough. And drop us a follow on TikTok as well. This has been your live press conference reaction. We'll be live for the game tomorrow, a live watch along. Come and join me for that. Get your questions in, and we'll go through the team lineup together. We've got the preview tonight as well for the Bournemouth game. So me and a couple of the lads will be on for that, discussing the game tomorrow. Make sure you come and get involved in the chat and let us know who you would pick for your predicted lineup, score predictions, all that kind of jazz. Yeah? Take care of yourself, guys. I want to stay on a little bit longer, but I'm not well. Very nasally. Probably sounds horrible. So, yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one later on tonight. Peace.